If you want to know what is really happening in coastal Wilmington right now, you've come to the right place. I'm going to cover 3 things: the biggest new developments, changing beach access and connectivity, the coastal neighborhoods and new communities you need to be watching, and the local events that make Wilmington such a great coastal lifestyle destination. Hi, I'm Kimberly Crouch with eXp Realty. I have been helping people relocate to coastal North Carolina for years, and nobody is going to give you a more honest picture of what's happening. 2026 is one of the most significant years for coastal access and development that Wilmington has seen in a long time. Major infrastructure projects like the Hampstead Bypass are wrapping up construction. NCDOT is projecting it will cut Highway 17 traffic in Pender County by half once complete. If you've ever sat in traffic trying to get to Topsail Island, you already know what that means. Combined with new residential communities opening across the metro and a packed calendar of coastal lifestyle events, there's a lot happening here that out-of-state buyers need to understand before they decide where and when to buy. So let's get into it. Category 1, big infrastructure projects. Project 1, the Hampstead Bypass. Construction on the first leg of the Hampstead Bypass began back in March of 2022. This is a multi-segment, 4-lane, divided highway that will change how people travel between Wilmington and the northern beaches, including Hampstead. Here's where the project stands today. As of early 2026, the northern section is roughly 65% complete, and the southern section about 10%. The first segment from NC 210 to Sloop Point Loop Road is now expected to open in late 2027, with the full project completing in 2030. So if you've heard it was opening in 2026, that timeline has moved. NCDOT projects the completed bypass will cut traffic on Highway 17 in Pender County roughly in half. The communities that benefit most are Hampstead, Topsail Island, Surf City, and North Topsail Beach. Commute times from Wilmington to these beaches should drop meaningfully once that first segment opens. Now, there's a second group that benefits here, and it's when people don't always connect to this project. The southern leg of the bypass ties into the existing I-140 interchange near Sidbury Road, and that's the corridor in Castle Hayne where a lot of the new construction is happening right now. Sidbury Road won't have its own highway exit, but it feeds right into that interchange. The trade-off is that construction is still very real right now. If you're buying in Hampstead or along the current Highway 17 corridor, budget time for that and plan your routes. From an investment standpoint, the northern beaches have historically been more affordable than Wrightsville, in large part because of that access challenge. As the bypass comes online in stages, that gap is worth watching. Project 2, Military Cutoff Road Extension. Good news on this one, it's open and has been for a while. The Military Cutoff Road Extension opened to traffic on September 28, 2023. The extension added 4.15 miles connecting Market Street up to NC 140, which ties into the future Hampstead Bypass corridor. $106 million project gave North Wilmington a direct alternative to congested Market Street for anyone heading toward the beaches or the bypass or Hampstead. The areas that benefit most are Porter's Neck, Scotts Hill, as well as Hampstead. And because this one is already finished, that benefit is baked in already. If you're buying in those neighborhoods, you already have meaningfully better access to both downtown and the coast. Project 3, Eastwood Road Overpass. The official project is the Military Cutoff and Eastwood Road intersection improvement. The plan is to remove the traffic signal where Eastwood meets Military Cutoff and replace it with an overpass. Eastwood Road would rise up and over Military Cutoff with ramps nearby to handle turning traffic. It's a flyover, not just a wider intersection. This is the major artery into Wrightsville Beach. It's being built in 2 phases. The first phase, an extension off Drysdale Drive that runs through the new Center Point development. It's already done and gives drivers an alternate path around that intersection. The second phase is an overpass itself. Here's what you need to know if you're buying in this area, because this is where I want you going and educated rather than surprised. The overpass is not a settled deal. As of 2026, contract work isn't scheduled to begin until September 2027, and NCDOT estimates about 4 years to build it once it starts. So realistically, we're looking at the end of the decade before anything is finished. And there's genuine local debate about whether the overpass is the right solution at all. Landfall, Lionsgate, and surrounding neighborhoods have met about the project, and a number of Wrightsville Beach and Wilmington residents have asked NCDOT to delay or reconsider it, arguing that signal timing improvements could ease the congestion with far far less disruption. Reasonable people in this community land on different sides of it. My take is this: know that a major NCDOT project is on the books here, know that the timeline is several years out, and know that the final form isn't locked in yet. Project 4, Wilmington Harbor Deepening. The Port of Wilmington has a major project on the table that would have ripple effects on the residential market, so it's worth knowing about, with the caveat that it's currently in flux. The proposed plan would deepen the Wilmington Harbor from 42 feet to 47 feet, allowing the port to handle larger container ships. That sounds like a shipping story, but a more active port can mean more people relocating here for port-related work, which is the kind of steady residential demand that doesn't rise and fall with tourism. According to NC Ports, every $1 billion of economic output through the port represents a 5,696 jobs statewide, and the port directly and indirectly supports about 87,700 jobs across North Carolina. Those are the port's own figures, and they give you a sense of the scale of what's at stake. Now, the important part, as of early 2026, this roughly $1.35 billion project has been paused, and the state's Division of Coastal Management has formally objected, citing concerns about impacts to coastal resources, which complicates the project without killing it. It's under review, and there are real questions being worked through about cost, environmental impacts, and economic assumptions. So my take for buyers is measured. The areas most likely to benefit if this moves forward are downtown, midtown, and the Leland communities within commuting distance of the port, and maybe Castle Hayne. But this is a long horizon possibility, not a sure thing on a fixed timeline. I wouldn't buy on the assumption that it's happening tomorrow. Project 5, Downtown Infrastructure Rehabilitation. The Cape Fear Public Utility Authority has 3 significant projects underway in downtown Wilmington: the 5th Avenue Water and Sewer Rehabilitation, the Grace and Chestnut Water and Sewer Rehabilitation, and the Walnut Street Pump Station Replacement. The first 2 are replacing water and sewer mains and the lines serving individual homes and businesses that are as much as 90 years old. It's the less glamorous side of a growing city, but it matters if you're considering a downtown condo or a historic district home. There's real construction happening downtown right now as a result. If you're buying in the heart of the city, plan for road work, closures, and parking challenges. The upside is meaningful though. The 5th Avenue work is being done alongside the city of Wilmington, which is resurfacing the road and making streetscape improvements. So once it wraps, the finished corridor will look better than what's there today. And downtown sheds a real infrastructure liability in the process. For a patient buyer, that short-term disruption can actually be an opening. Downtown properties tend to dip a little in perceived desirability during heavy construction, then recover once the work is done. What I want you to take away is bigger than any one project. Across the region, state and local agencies are investing real money in the infrastructure that supports the kind of growth Wilmington is experiencing. That's the sign of an area building for where it's headed, not just where it's been. Understanding the infrastructure picture is one thing. Knowing which coastal neighborhood that they actually benefit and what flood zones, insurance costs, and HOA structures look like in each is a completely different conversation. Get that wrong, and you could end up in a community where your insurance premium alone runs $4,000 to $6,000 a year more than a comparable home 2 miles away, simply because of the flood zone. Download my free North Carolina Coastal Relocation Decision Guide in the description below. It breaks down the key coastal areas, what to watch for on flood zones and insurance before you make an offer, and how to compare communities based on your actual lifestyle goals. Category 2, new construction communities, neighborhoods to watch. Community 1 is River Lights. River Lights sits along the Cape Fear River just south of downtown Wilmington. Pulte, New Leaf Builders, Charter Building Group, Trust, and Bill Clark are all active here with new construction single-family homes starting from the mid-400s and up through $1.35 million. The median price across the community is $545,000 for the last 12 months as of June 2026, according to current listing data. The community also added a second pool, second gym, clubhouse, and pickleball courts in early 2026 with quick move-in homes available. This is a master-planned coastal community that sits off the water in a way that keeps most of it out of high-risk flood zones. That matters a lot to people when they're comparing coastal options. You get the Cape Fear River views and the coastal lifestyle without the flood insurance complexity that comes with AE or VE zone properties on the ocean front or directly on the ICW. But still, do check. The Cape Fear River can cause flooding too. too. This community is a strong fit for active buyers who want resort-style amenities and easy access to both downtown and the beaches. I love selling in River Lights because buyers who move here consistently tell me it feels like they're on vacation every single day. Community 2 is Landfall. Landfall is Wilmington's premier gated community, and it is the one I point people to when they're coming from high-cost coastal markets and want a luxury lifestyle without paying Northeast or California prices. As of June 2026, there were 5 actively listed new construction homes in Landfall ranging from $1.4 million to $3.4 million, and 6 buildable lots starting at $525,000. There are several builders here, including Harrington, Blanton, and Venture, plus others. What you're getting for that is championship golf with a significant wait list, gated security, and a mature community with established infrastructure. This is not a startup development. Everything is already in place. The community sits close to Wrightsville Beach, which means buyers get the prestige of coastal country club living with actual beach access a short drive away. I love selling in Landfall, and I'll tell you why. My buyers here aren't just looking for a house, they're looking for a very specific lifestyle. And this is the only place in Wilmington that genuinely delivers it. The comment I hear is that they love their beautiful home and surroundings for a price that's so much lower than other areas of the country. Community 3, Castle Hayne. Castle Hayne, just north of Wilmington in New Hanover County, has become one of our most active new construction corridors. 2 very different kinds of communities are going in up here at the same time. So along the Northeast Cape Fear River, you have gated, amenity-rich communities like River Bluffs, a gated riverfront community, and Sunset Reach at the end of Rock Hill Road along the river. A few minutes inland off Sidbury Road, you have master-planned communities from national builders, Avenue 1 from Mungo Homes, and Sidbury Station from D.R. Horton. Pricing spans a wide range here, which is part of what makes Castle Hayne worth understanding. The inland master plan communities are the attainable entry point. Avenue 1 starts in the mid-400s with floor plans from 1,500 to over 3,000 square feet, and Sidbury Station runs from the high 300s to the high 400s. River Bluffs homes start in the 800s and climb over $1 million and beyond for custom waterfront, and Sunset Reach homes are priced from the upper 600s to over 900,000. What you're paying for on the river is genuine water access and proximity. River Bluffs is about 15 minutes north of downtown Wilmington by car or boat. This appeals to 2 distinct buyers. The inland communities draw medium price point buyers and first-time buyers who want a brand new home with resort-style amenities at a price that still works. Sidbury Station offers a pool, clubhouse with fitness room, playground, and amenity pond, and you're getting that for a fraction of what comparable new construction costs closer to the water. The riverfront communities draw active adults, downsizers, and boaters who want a low-maintenance home with deep water access and a quick trip downtown. River Bluffs is known for its preservation focus, with more than a third of the land kept as green space, plus a marina, riverwalk, pools, fitness centers, dog parks, and a community farm. I show Castle Hayne most often to relocating buyers who tell me they want new construction, but were shocked at what waterfront adjacent pricing looks like in their first searches. So Castle Hayne is where I can match them to the right fit, value, and space inland or river lifestyle for less than they'd expect. One thing worth knowing if you're looking at Castle Hayne, this is north of the city and more rural in feel than people picture when they imagine coastal Wilmington. You're roughly 20 to 30 minutes from Wrightsville Beach, not minutes away. That's the trade-off for the value and the river access. It's also worth knowing that a couple of these communities are still building out. Community 4, Porter's Neck, and Scotts Hill. Now, this is what I'm really excited about, and I recommend a lot to buyers who want new construction but don't want to pay the Wrightsville Beach premium. Porter's Neck has multiple builders active right now, as does Scotts Hill. New builds there typically run from the mid-1800s to $1.5 million plus, depending on the community and lot. You may get golf course living, water access, and you're about 15 minutes from Wrightsville Beach. More space, larger lots, and established neighborhood infrastructure. Scotts Hill sits just north of Porter's Neck and is worth knowing about because you still get a Wilmington address, but you're coming in at a lower price point. New construction in Scotts Hill is running roughly $425,000 to $750,000 right now. For buyers where budget is a real factor, but you still want that coastal Wilmington lifestyle, Scotts Hill is a genuine option. Builders here include D.R. Horton and Mungo Homes and are genuinely good options in a growing area. Some with amenities and about 25 minutes to Wrightsville Beach. Beach. And the new bypass really helps cut the car drive time. D.R. Horton is building out Blake Farm, while Mungo is finishing their section of Scotts Hill Village. Homes are starting to hit the market there now in June 2026. They're also about halfway through building in Indigo at Abbey Preserve, where I am right now, and have another larger community planned just down the road off Scotts Hill Loop. This area is particularly special for buyers who want a Wilmington address, and you have that option in both Pender and New Hanover counties here because the county line runs right through this area, and you still get to live the coastal life. The Saltfish Marina, which is on the ICW off Scotts Hill Loop Road, is just down the road. It offers wet and dry slips for boaters. When I last checked, the wait list for a dry slip was about 2 years, held with roughly a $1,500 deposit. And once you get your slip, the cost is about $550 per month, subject to change, of course, for a dry slip. And once you have the dry slip, you can get in line for a wet slip. So this location will allow you to boat down to Wrightsville Beach or up to Topsail and all of the islands in between in just a few minutes. It's a great place to own a home in Wilmington for a budget between $425,000 and $800,000 with new construction options and a boater's lifestyle. I recommend Porter's Neck and Scotts Hill most often to buyers who want the coastal lifestyle but prefer a more suburban feel than you'd get right on the beach or downtown. Now, I know this can seem like a lot of information and areas and neighborhoods to choose from, and that's why I've developed a quiz to ask you 11 questions and help you determine where you fit best based on your lifestyle. It takes 3 minutes and the results are emailed directly to you, and it's completely free. Check it out in the link below this video. Category 3, events, calendar reminders. Event 1 is the North Carolina Holiday Flotilla in November 2026. Now let me show you why coastal Wilmington is such a special place to actually live. The NC Holiday Flotilla is one of those Wilmington traditions that relocating buyers almost never know about until they move here, and then it becomes one of their favorite nights of the year. Dozens of boats decorated with holiday lights parade along the Intracoastal Waterway, typically the Friday after Thanksgiving. Crowds gather along the drawbridge to Wrightsville Beach and the restaurants and bars on the ICW to watch. It's free, it's genuinely beautiful, and it's the kind of community event that makes you feel like you made the right choice moving here. Boats compete for prizes and awards are given. It's really fun. And it's followed by a beautiful fireworks display over the water. You're standing outside on the waterway in late November watching lit up boats go by in coastal Carolina weather, which can be warm and not require a jacket or be freezing cold, so be prepared. Event 2, the turkey trot and tree lighting. Thanksgiving weekend, November 2026, and the following. Wilmington's Thanksgiving weekend pulls the community together in a great way. The Cape Fear Habitat Turkey Trot, previously held at Wrightsville Beach, will be in downtown Wilmington this year at Riverfront Park. Historically, it has drawn runners of all levels through Wrightsville Beach and has become a real community tradition. The downtown tree lighting follows the next weekend, transforming the riverfront into a proper holiday theme. For buyers relocating from larger cities where those kind of events feel corporate or oversized, the Wilmington version has a genuine small town quality that most people don't really expect from a city this size. The November cluster of the turkey trot and the tree lighting and the flotilla gives relocating buyers something concrete to anchor to. Event 3, the Wrightsville Beach Monday Farmers Market. This one is less of a one-day event and more of a weekly ritual that becomes part of your regular routine once you're here, and it happens through the summer months and into the fall. The Wrightsville Beach Farmers Market runs on Mondays now from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. running through December 7th this year, and it brings local produce, seafood, prepared foods, jewelry, art, locally roasted coffee, and some of the most beautiful fresh cut flowers from a farm in Castle Hayne. So for out-of-state buyers who are still deciding whether Wilmington feels right, this is the kind of detail that may tip the scale. It's not a headline amenity, it's a weekly experience that becomes part of what you love about living here. Event 4, 2027 North Carolina Azalea Festival. It's set to take place with several different events happening from April 7th to 11th, 2027. With more than 75 years, the North Carolina Azalea Festival has reigned supreme as one of the biggest and best festivals along the southeast coastline. Founded in 1948, the North Carolina Azalea Festival has emerged as one of the most anticipated events in the state. There's a downtown street fair, North Carolina Azalea Festival parade, concerts, and of course, the garden party. Something for everyone. This event represents everything that makes Wilmington special as a coastal community, and it's the perfect blend of southern charm, coastal beauty, and and community celebration. Event 5, the North Carolina 4th of July Festival in Southport, one of the oldest Independence Day celebrations in the state. The North Carolina 4th of July Festival draws visitors from across the coastline with a parade, vendors, live performances, and fireworks over the Cape Fear River. If you want to understand what the southern end of the Cape Fear region feels like as a place to live, Southport on the 4th of July is about as good an introduction as you'll find. It's a genuinely charming, historic waterfront town, and the festival captures that community character completely. For buyers considering Brunswick County communities, spending a few hours in Southport during the festival is a good way to get a feel for this part of our market. Event 6, Wilmington Riverfest, October 2026. Riverfest happens the first full weekend of October along the historic downtown riverfront, where I am right now. It is consistently named one of North Carolina's top 7 festivals, and it draws the whole city out for 2 days of live music, local food, and a free street fair. For anyone trying to time a visit to Wilmington before making a relocation decision, I suggest aiming for Riverfest weekend. Wilmington isn't just growing, it's evolving into a sophisticated coastal destination between the infrastructure that's reshaping beach access, the new construction communities opening up across our coastal markets, and the events that show off our authentic coastal culture. There has never been a better time to make coastal North Carolina home. If you're relocating to coastal North Carolina and you want to talk through what all of this means for your specific situation, call or text me at 910-218-8187. I'm Kimberly Crouch with eXp Realty, your coastal relocation specialist, offering you authentic coastal luxury at every price point.